one. Yeah. Cha 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 cha. Igbo pues one. Yeah. Koko nyamini nyamini.
And that is what we're here to talk about. The Nigerian
Koko nyamiri nyamiri. Koko nyamiri nyamiri. Ibole ibole ibobono ndamami he. Ibole ibole ibobono ndamami he. Ebulanyelu anamabara na ihe dị njọ ma na-emezi konye ofeke anamabara nụ n'ihe dị njọ ma na-emezi konye ofeke Igbo bụ n'ndike ụmụ Igbo bụ n'ndike Umibobono ndike nundike koko nyamini nyamini.
Otito niile dịrị Chineke, ọbasi dị elu, Chukwu obiọma, Chidi ebere, Olisa nwa amara, ka ụzọ anyị niile ọbụla bụrụ ihe, ka ihe ọbụla kpatara aka bụrụ sọ mma, ka ụwa niile site n'oziọma anyị a nwee obi aṅụrị taa na mgbe niile. Ọfọ ya gazie ise. All praises to Chi the Creator, the Supreme Being, Chi the Good, Chi the Merciful, Chi magnificent with grace. Let every way of our lives be light. Let all our acts be crowned with good. May the world prosper through our ministry of Global Faith Ministry of Chiism, now and forever. And so let it be. Amen.
Ise, you didn't day wo.
Okay, madam,
day wo.
Cow.
No. Thank you for that wonderful prayer. Thank you for the prayer. Just want to remind everybody that we are so lucky to be here today. If you just take a moment and look around in the whole world and see what's going on, you need to pinch yourself. Don't pinch yourself. You are lucky to be here today. If you, many of you may not realize it, but so many of us are selected to be here. But unfortunately, we're not always very grateful. So I'm just going to ask everyone just to be grateful today. Just to be grateful that you're here today. Look at what happened in Russia. Look at what's going on in parts of Nigeria. Look at what's going on in Gaza. What's going on in many. You just name them. You can just list the whole lot. I said Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
And if you just pay attention to what's going on in the world, and you think you're having a difficult time, then you need to just pinch yourself and just look up and just say, thank you, Chineke, and just hit your heart. And if it's still ticking, you know you're one of the lucky few. Chineke biko imela no. Aneke kele Chineke yudika no. I'm born no. All those things that
I appreciate you.
I'm born no. We are birds. I appreciate you. I'm bobala. We fin akwa nyopa. I eje. Eje. Lasa. I'm bo kuko. Oh kuko ki fani ato no pa. But ubala mi iri ani eri ubala. Ubala the duck never drowns. Never drowns. So we're not going to drown. Everything that we touch is going to turn into
words
gold.
of wisdom from Nigeria, Ndibo, in particular.
Yes, yes. And we ask, you know, we're just asking for the opportunity to continue the journey, because we know we have the power. That's the topic of today. We do have the power, the personal power to move ourselves forward, because that's the blessing. That's the blessing we've already gotten. It's not something we beg for. It's something we thank Chineke for, but it's something we must implement. You see what I'm saying? You must implement your power, you know, enact it into reality. You don't beg Chineke to give you power. Just say, Chineke, thank you for the power. Just give me the opportunity to enact it, you know, to use the power that I've been given to you, because you already have it. You already have it, you know, so we're not begging for power. We already have it, you know. So thank you everyone, those of you who are joining us thus far. We're going to explore the concept of personal power and how to recognize and embrace it. Many of us have it that we don't think we have it, and sometimes your experience, your environment, when you listen to what people tell you, it can kind of convince you that you don't have the power that you already have. But each one of us possesses unique qualities and abilities that can empower us to make a positive impact, not just in our lives, but the world around us. Everything around us can tap into our power. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can tap into our personal power and unlock our true potential. You know, when an Igbo person sees somebody who's not acting upon their power, they say, I mean, see, this one he's acting like he has no power. They don't say you don't have power. They say you're acting like you don't have power. The problem. How come you can't handle this? And I think, unfortunately, we by not tapping into our own personal power, we find that there's so many things happening on around us that we can't fix because we see the power. Every religion in the world is looking for that power to come from wherever to solve it. The Christians are waiting for Jesus to come. The Muslims, everybody is waiting for somebody to come and save them.
The Messiah.
And yet, we're all looking for Messiah. But you got that capacity. You know, see, this is what, when you give birth to a child, at some point, you got to let them go. At some point, they have to go. They have to move on their power. You can't consistently hold on and direct their lives. At some point, they have to do it, even if they fall, even if they fail. So how do we define personal power? Ikegi, your power. So those of you who want to learn a little bit about Igbo, Ike is power. Igbo Ike. So when we say that you have power, when I say Igbo Ike, I'm saying you've got the personal power. That's your inner strength, your confidence. And if you tap into that confidence, if you tap into your inner strength, Ikege Posa, believe it or not, you influence individuals around you. You can shape your own life. You can shape the lives of people around you. You can make a difference in your own life. See, unfortunately, the world tells us that Ike is just about having money. Ike is just about ruling over people. That's not it. Ike is ruling over yourself.
Yeah.
Once you can rule yourself, trust me, nobody can rule you. It's not about money. Money is a good thing. But there are people with money who can rule themselves, who are just as frustrated as those who don't have money. So the most important thing is have the strength, have the power to influence your life, and you find that you are able to get that money that you want, that power, that to leadership power, if that's what you're looking for. Right now, we live in countries where we have people who are running, deciding the fate of our children, of our families, deciding how we live. We cede the power to them. They tell us all kinds of nonsense. And when it's time to vote, we vote for them. But the only reason why you vote for people who are not really strong is because you've ceded your power. You can't see yourself doing those things that you're putting in the hands of others that you can do. There's so many things you can do. But once you don't believe that you can do it, somebody can convince you, I'm your God. I'm the one that can do it for you. You must recognize your strength. Marie Kegi, you have to take some time and find what it is. What are your unique qualities? What are your talents? What is it? What are the experiences that contribute to your personal power? Sometimes you got to tap into something that happened to you years ago, and somehow you were able to overcome some of your challenges if you apply what you did last time to get out of a hole. Acknowledge and celebrate your strengths. You know, we always say, UD, we always talk about the fact that
yep.
Yeah, the lizard said, look, I fell from this tall tree. And y'all don't see what I did? That's okay. I know what I did. I bought my and he starts to nod. Yeah. And he starts to nod. I'm all that. I'm powerful. You have to nod. You know, back then, you did remember when there was a time that the person was known, his power was demonstrated by his ability to wrestle. To wrestle, you know, to bring somebody down, not kill somebody now. Wrestling didn't involve killing.
Our grandfather was a wrestler. Our hands at that.
Yes, it's about you and believing in yourself. And even sometimes the wrestler can be even bigger than you. But if you believe that you can even convince that person that you're stronger than he is.
Yep.
If you believe that you have the capacity to move somebody, to move yourself, you can move somebody else. That's why back then, the most powerful people were the wrestlers. Remember back then? Because these are confidential people with confidence. Some of them can bring down a tall man, a big man, because they're confident. You can make a big man feel less confident that you can defeat them. In other words, there's nothing out here you cannot defeat. Okay, you can't defeat a gun. You can't defeat some mechanical things. I'm talking about another man, another person, another something that you want badly enough. You can defeat it. You can get it. But you've got to believe it. So sometimes, you know, sometimes things happen and it didn't go our way. So we get mad. We feel bad. It didn't work out and we give up. There's a tendency to do that. It didn't work out, so we give up. That's not it. A powerful person doesn't give up. You learn from what happened so that you can get it right the next time. You can always win if you just pause for a moment and ask yourself question, what did I do last time? How did it work last time? You can figure it out. And how do you embrace your personal power? What does it mean to embrace your personal power? First of all, you've got to have self-awareness. I say, know yourself. Self-awareness. If you know who you are, where you've been, then you can determine where you need to go. Even if you stumble, you know to get up. If you find obstacles, you weave and bob and get out of the way. Nothing stops you. I can't tell you how old I am, but I tell you one thing. You can't put this woman down. You can't hold me down. Age has nothing to do with it. You know, I am sure that I can cultivate my self-awareness to go where I want to go. I understand my values. Understand your values. What are your passions? What's your purpose? Knowing who you are and what you stand for will help you to harness your personal power effectively. But you can't harness anything if you don't know what it is. What are you good at? Are you a good writer? Are you a good runner? Are you a great cook? What are you good at? Find out what that is and harness that. That's your personal power. Only if you're aware of what what you're good at, can you have the opportunity to harness your personal power effectively. Instead of wondering what people think about you, instead of wondering, taking other people's opinion about you, ask yourself tell yourself who you are, and that's what you embrace. That's the opinion that matters. And give Chineke the glory for opening your eyes so that you can know, your ears, your heart, your mind, everything, so you know where your personal power is. If you're waiting for anyone to validate you, you're wasting your time. People will not validate you. You can do anything you want to do and be as nice and sweet as you want to be to some people. It wouldn't matter. They will still talk about you. They will still bring you down. But that's not important. It's not important as long as you know who you are. We said, Ibribe, no be you
you can proverb.
Let the good things, let the good people come my way, and those evil ones move on. I don't recognize you. I don't care. You need to know you're your very own best friend. You're your best friend. You're what life is all about. I don't say this is, some people may say, it sounds so, simplistic. It's not. It's not simplistic. It's actually what makes you who you are. Embracing who you are. Ask yourself, if your father was not great, your mother was not great, keep going back and see. In the middle of your challenge, there are 10,000 hands holding your shoulder. Your ancestors. Go back. To whom do you belong? Who gave birth to you? You come from a long line of successful human beings. You may not know them, but the fact that you're here, still standing, that means that they were something. They achieved something. And it's through those lines that you came to be. Embrace your power. Know who you are. Have confidence.
Yep. Very important.
You know what I'm saying? Have confidence to embrace your personal power. Have confidence. When you step out there, when you see a sea of people who look good, like they're doing everything right, stand up there and look good. Look up, don't look down. Never look down in front of other people. Never look down. You see, when you look down, all you can see is your feet. But if you look up, it's the sky, and the sky is the limit. There's nobody who has achieved. Our father used to ask us, those people who have achieved, do they have a horn on their head?
Or horn for teeth.
What is it? What makes them so special that you are cowering and bowing? Stand up. Speak for yourself and define yourself. That's where your confidence is. Self-belief. Believe in your abilities. Believe in yourself and your abilities. You may not succeed today. Oh, but wait till tomorrow. As a matter of fact, at the end of the day, you tell yourself, I didn't get it done today. But tomorrow, tomorrow. Embrace a positive mindset. Your positive mindset is going to nurture self-confidence and self-assurance. I didn't get it yesterday, but you guys step out too. Tomorrow is the day.
Yeah.
That's self-assurance. Keep nurturing your self-confidence. Don't beat yourself down because what you set to do today, you didn't achieve it today. With another punch, you will achieve it tomorrow. But you see that mindset, that self-assurance, you keep saying, okay, it didn't work. You might even run into people that you felt so good that you're going to work this out with them, and then they just let you down. Yeah, well, the whole world does not fall at the feet of those people who disappointed you. There are many, 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 many other people out there. But most important, just tell yourself, this one didn't work. Next, let next be your favorite word. Next, what's the next thing? What's the next experience? That's what life is about. If everything worked perfectly, you will get bored. You will get bored. I guarantee you that the reason why rich people just keep going and keep trying to get more money and keep trying to do things is because life gets boring when everything is all set in stone. You dear Micah, is that true?
It's true. Yeah.
It gets boring. It gets boring. So every day, when you see that sun shining and you can inhale and exhale and just take your blood pressure, take your, they say, I'm still alive. Oh. Step out the door knowing that nothing can change your opinion about who you are. You have been selected to walk amongst the living. You're still here. Everything you set out to achieve that day, you can achieve it, even if it's just a little bit of it. You don't have to achieve everything. That's why they say you can't eat an elephant whole. You got to take little bites.
Can't do that.
You can't do that.
Next to impossible.
You know what they say?
Yep.
You just take your time. Take your time. If you have your life together, you can influence other people in a positive way. You can have a positive impact. Recognize that your actions and your words have the power to influence others. As a matter of fact, when you tell somebody you see that is not doing very well, and you say to them, Oga de Chamma, and they see that attitude from you, you have that attitude that all is going to be well. All is going to be well. When they see that attitude from you, believe it or not, they start practicing it. They say, UD never gives up. And they see it. And you show them that you never give up. They will start acting like you. Power, your behavior can be very infectious. You can inspire, motivate, and uplift those around you just because of the way you act, just because of the way that you speak. You know, Dad, that our father never met anybody lower than him. Never. Everybody was the greatest African of the 21st century. Everybody was great. He can make a small man feel like a king. By the time he talks, he's done with them. He believed in everybody. He believed in your ability to rise. He knows that whatever you experience, it is temporary. That you can rise as high, but you have to believe it. It's not that you can pray till you're blue in the face. When you pray, you're talking to yourself because the Chineke that you're talking to is right in you. That power is in you.
Mona Chiso.
Okay. Mona Chiso. I am working with Chineke. I'm working with the power that you're seeking is already there. You just have to ignite it. You just have to ignite it. You have to believe it and let it rip. Do it. If you don't have, some people say, this person is not. They don't dress. They don't dress fancy and all that stuff. That's what is clothing. It's what comes out of your mouth that's important. Is that confidence that's important. You will find people inviting you to come and speak because you just give them something for their soul that they want to hear. You can impact others. So be careful what you say. Self-talk is very important. Be careful what you say to yourself. If you say to yourself you're not good enough, you're going to act like you're not good enough. That will be your modus operandi. When you think other people are better than you, you will act accordingly, and they will think they're better than you. When I walk into a room You can never intimidate me. When I walk into a room, I see myself as whoever is in that room. Nobody is greater than me. Not because I feel superior to anyone, but because of my spirituality that tells me right where I am. Munachiso. I walk with the greatest power. And on my shoulder are 10,000 ancestors and more.
Yes.
My daughter, whenever my daughter is the one at the University of Florida, you know, she's taking a very difficult course. PhD is not a joke. And then to be doing it in science, sometimes she finds herself, she's the only Black woman in a sea of scientists. And she'll call me, she says, Mom, I'm the only Black person here. And I have to remind her, Ginachi so. You are walking with, do you know how many ancestors are surrounding you, have their hands on your shoulder? You walk tall. You got something to say, get up there and say it. And she feels good. You know, you ask her, how did she go? She says, the ancestors did their thing. I said, that's right. Chineke did what needed to be done. Eke was there and Chi was there. Chi, your personal power. Eke, your future. Your future perspectives. Put that together, you got power. You just
Where is your kuna? Where is your car?
And then the other thing we must do is to take responsibility. Take ownership of your actions, your decisions, your choices. If you make a mistake, don't blame somebody. Do you understand? Don't blame somebody else. Take responsibility.
Oh, the time we can.
Yes. If you're not check off, for what you seek, so shall you find. So if you are seeking something good, you will do what it takes to get something good. And if you fail along the way, don't blame somebody else. Don't blame somebody else for something that you did. Don't blame somebody else for decisions you made that didn't turn out. If you made a mistake, try again. Get it right. You can get it right. But don't blame people for what you did. You know, when we of course, sometimes, you know, the government doesn't always do the right thing. Now, people make the right decisions. And unfortunately, if the government is not right, you know, the outcomes is not always very good. But if you choose to vote into office people who don't have your best interests at heart, take responsibility for it. Don't blame that idiot, excuse the expression, that you know does not have the capacity to rule, to lead. Then after you put that person in office and they're not performing, then you start running your mouth. Oh, they're used to that. Blame yourself. Make decisions and take responsibility for your choices. Accepting responsibility empowers you to make changes and create the life you desire. You do
Where is your
You can make it become a reality if you just change some of the errors you made. But if you sit on your error and you're blaming somebody, you're not going to move forward. You can move forward only if you accept responsibility. You know what?
That is so true. That is so true.
I messed up so bad. You know what I'm saying? I messed up so bad. But if you mess up and you say, okay, I'm not going to do this again. You mess up one time. You mess up second time. You didn't pay attention to the first time. The second time means that you didn't pay attention to the second. Now, the third time, though, you're just not paying attention, period. You don't care. You know? Image on Kembo, game on Cabo. You mess up the first and the second time. They say, okay, there's time. Imagine one kato. If you mess up the third time, all right, you're not serious. You're not serious. You don't want to move forward.
You know what I'm laughing? When you said that, this guy came right into my mind, Ogele. I'm sorry. I just got to, it's kind of funny. George H.W. Bush, I think the second George Bush.
Yeah.
Where he said, fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't fool me again. So it's like just what, you know, it's funny, but it's in line of what you're just saying. You know what I'm saying? Take responsibility.
Yes.
Quit talking about it, somebody else, they never get
So-
out of it. Sorry about that. I just had to share that.
Yes.
That was funny.
You can't, that's okay. You can never get out of a mess as long as it's someone else's responsibility. If you can do it, do it. If you can't do it, it's one thing. But if you have the capacity to do it, but you just want to say you're too lazy to correct, then you know the problem is yours, and you just keep making the mistakes over and over. Now, how do you use your personal power? First and foremost, my brothers and sisters, learn how to goal setting. Set meaningful goals that align with your values and aspirations. Nothing happens without goal setting. Let's just understand that. Yes, what you seek, so shall you find. But what is it you seek? Has it ever happened to you that you know what you think you know what you want, then you go upstairs to get what you said you want, then you get, of course, that has to do with aging too.
Yeah.
You get up there. You get up
and
there.
I'm rushing up there. Then as soon as I get there, I go, why am I in the bedroom in the first place? What was I trying to get?
What did I come here to get? You have to come back downstairs, and then you say, aha, that's
there
what
you
it
go.
was.
There you go, right back up. Yeah.
Okay. But in life, you have to set goals.
Half the time it does.
You have to set goals. This is what I want to do. Break them down into actionable steps. You know, we set big goals. I want to be a rich person. Good for you. So, how are you going to get there? I want to lose weight. Good. How are you going to get there? I want to find a husband. Good. How are you going to get there? I want to find a wife. Good. How are you going to get there? You have to set small but actionable goals.
Yeah.
That's how you use your personal power. You know what you want. Map it out. That's it. The people, spirituals will say, know that the road is far. And if you're going to get on that road, you have to map out how to get to the end of the road. You cannot jump from here to the end of the road. If you're going to Lagos, you're going to make numerous stops. Know ahead of time where those stops are. What you're going to do when you get there. If things don't happen like you want when you get there, then what do? If you want to achieve something, break it down. Sometimes it takes a long time to achieve anything. Sometimes some millionaires are created at age 80. The point of the matter is don't quit. Know exactly. Maribi Gaje. Know where you're going. Know what you have to do. Map it out. Actionable. Don't set goals you can't achieve. Don't say I am going to be a scientist and that's going to land on Jupiter. Boy, you can't even add 2 and 2 together. That is not what you're supposed to do.
You can't even find your way to your village.
You can't even find your way to your village. Set achievable and actionable goals.
Oh my God.
You know, that's what it means when you're self-aware. You know who you are. Because everybody has a skill. Don't look for my skill to be the same skill as the other person. No. What are your skills? Set goals to achieve what you want to achieve using your skill sets. But you've got to set goals and you've got to make them so that you can walk through little at a time until you get there. Sometimes it takes a while. But the reason many of us fail is because we set these big goals and we want to get it right now. You don't want to do anything else but just, I got to be a millionaire. I got to do this. I got to do this. That's fine. That's a fantastic goal. Everybody should have that kind of goal. I'm going to get a PhD. I'm going to do all of that. Yes, But map out how you're going to get there. That's problem-based learning. For anything that you want to achieve, there are 10 ways to get it. What you do is you line them all up. What are the pros and cons of everything you want to do? How do you achieve them? Can you achieve them? If this one doesn't work, what's the next thing? Now, not everybody's going to encourage you. Understand that. Not everybody's going to tell you, oh, what you're doing is feasible. But that's not important. What's important is, do you think you can do it? Then start small and build up. You see, everything you achieve leads to number 2, number 3, number 4, and finally to the mountaintop. If you're going to climb the mountaintop, there are parts of the mountain you gotta climb to get to the top. But you can't sit at the valley saying, I'm going to be on the top. You'll never make it if you don't start the journey. But if you start the journey, you must have everything that you need to work with. Make sure you have what you need to work with. And you must be a good communicator. Have the effective communication skills. Develop it. If you don't know how to communicate, it's something that you have to do. Develop strong communication skills to express your thoughts. Be able to share with people what your thoughts are, your ideas are, your needs are. Be effective communicator. Don't be one that just, you don't know what you're saying, that you expect the person you're saying it to understand. If you don't know what you're saying, there's no way somebody else would know. You have to be able to communicate. Your power comes from your ability to communicate what your needs and wants are. And don't waste your time with people who mock your inability to communicate effectively. Some of us have difficulty communicating. That's why some of us have to go back to school. That's why you have to learn how to communicate. There's training opportunity for everything. If you find yourself struggling to communicate, to be assertive, then you may have to have some training. See, assertive communication empowers you to make your voice heard and create positive connections. You can't be that person that goes somewhere and you're the wallflower. You don't want to speak because you don't know how to talk. Believe it or not, you can learn how to speak. You can learn how to be assertive. If you don't know how, you can learn how to be assertive. But you can't go to somewhere that you can do networking and you just walk around. Zombie, just walk around looking around and you can't speak. Yudi, am I telling the truth here?
It's true. Absolutely.
Okay. And I will end it with this. Talk about jotting. Look, jot down your thoughts. You know, sometimes you want to say something. You got it in your mind. And you think when you get to that environment where you have to share your thoughts, that you'll be able to just share it. Jot it down, because sometimes there's a tendency to forget. Jot down what you want to say, and repeat it to yourself. It's okay to go, you know, when I have to make a presentation, I have to go over it to make sure that I am enunciating, I am saying exactly what I want to say, so that when I speak, it becomes second nature. And last but not least, my brothers and sisters, embrace challenges. Embrace challenges. Embrace challenges. Challenges are not there to hurt you necessarily. Some of it, yes, but for the most part, challenges are there to give you the opportunity to grow. It's our opportunities for growth and learning. That's what challenges do. And if you have personal power and you harness it, it enables you to overcome obstacles. Just learn how to weave around obstacles. And what happens is that you come out even stronger. Once you're challenged, once you met with difficult situations, believe it or not, you'll be okay. Because you've been there. That's why I said earlier, go back in time and say, I've been here before. How did I come out of it? How did I overcome my challenges? You don't just sit in front of obstacles and say, oh, I can't get over it. You learn how to overcome it. Because every achievement comes with obstacles. Don't be afraid to fail. See failure as just a step towards your success. That's all it is. So in conclusion, my brothers and sisters, OT, UD, Ayo.
Yep.
This year, Akbala this year can be Audrey. In conclusion, this is what your personal power does for you. Your personal power is that inherent quality that each of us have. We all have it. Nobody has it and you lack it. Chineke is in you. Chi, the masculine energy, and Eke, the feminine, is in you. To find both of them working hand in hand, you have to find yourself. You have to understand, embrace your own personal power. Unlock your true potential. Make a positive impact on yourself so that you can impact the world. Remember, you can create the life you envision and inspire others with your personal power. Embrace it, your power, nurture it, and let it guide you. Let it guide your journey towards success and fulfillment. This is how you create a remarkable life, by embracing your personal power. Ikegi, Ikechuku. Okwaya Yudi. Your power is God's power. Right where you are, the power is. Use it, embrace it, and walk with the light. And here you are. Well. That was my discussion.
Well, let me just put a disclaimer here.
I just want to read something right quick. This person says, Caesar says, keep preaching. But at the end of this broadcast, please give an update on the calendars because people are interested in the calendars. All right, Yudi. So we're going to talk about that later. So Yudi, your thoughts, personal power, your thoughts.
Lots of things. First of all, it's refreshing to know that leading today's discussion is a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, professional lady, who also happens to be a high chief priest, Okedibia, of Global Faith Ministry of Chiism. So your perspective is absolutely refreshing, and that's what people need to hear. Whether you're African, whether you profess Christianity, Chiism, Orumularism, Hinduism, whatever, this pertains to people of all hues and spiritual beliefs.
Yes.
So it's a great topic, and I'm just very happy that we're having this conversation. Ikenga is the second month of the year in Igbo African calendar. Fijoku being the first, the second is Ikenga, so on and so forth. This month represents a call in Nsibiri to humanity. Know thyself and work hard. Let me say that again. Know thyself and work hard, which implies unity of mind and hard work. Ikenga is your conscience. It's the essence of conscientism. Its value is honesty. Be honest with yourself. Like you mentioned earlier about goals, setting goals that are not attainable, right? Its shield is ofonogu, truth and justice. Be truthful to yourself. Be honest. Take responsibility. Be honest. And its ideals are in the absolutes of universal religion. So this is not just about Black folks, Chiists. It's universal in its application. What you need to do is listen inwardly to yourself so that you can truly identify who you are in terms of your Ikenga, your talent. Because a lot of us go through life without tapping into our Ikenga, our talent, who Chineke created, what Chineke has imbued in you. We kind of seem to forget about that and do something else that somebody tells us is good for us, just to find out that in the end, we're not happy, we never achieve anything because we were never honest. We never properly interpreted our Ikenga. And then listen to the faint voice of Chineke, your chi, your personal God. You listen to it, it will lead you to the hallmarks of your Akaraka, which is your destiny. Now, there's this saying that, you know, you can't control what happens in the future. Yeah, you can't control, you know, good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. Now, if you spend your time thinking about that, you lose your mind. And then you end up asking the question that torments us all that really has no answer, because maybe if you die, then that answer may come to you when you're in the spiritual realm, which is, what is the purpose of life? Nobody got answers to it. So you can't sit around worrying about, you know, if I do this, no. You have to tap into your own personal essence. We all have a conscience. There's something always in your head telling you what is right and what is wrong, what to do in times of trouble, and what to do when things are going well. That sound in you, that conscience that you have to make those spiritual decisions that affects the outcome of where you're going, is your chi. We all have it. Christians have it, Muslims have it, Buddhists have it. Every human being that is a conscious spiritual being has that faint voice in your head telling you what to do, telling you what decisions to make. That's the one that you have to listen to, but you have to properly interpret what's going on in your head, and don't let somebody else interpret that for you and gradually take away your freedoms, which is what, quite frankly, most Africans are going through right now. And, you know, you can see the results. Mastering your personal power. That's today's topic. Now, personal power is the ability to influence people and events. That's what personal power is. This form of power comes from your character, from your characteristics as an individual, rather than having formal authority, right? Nobody gives you personal power. It comes from your character as a person. You cannot have a defeatist mentality. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, it's too hard. But quite frankly, most things that are good for you are difficult to achieve, to attain. And the easy things are the ones that either destroy you or never really do anything, you know, for you. We have a saying back in Nigeria, you know, Ndibo. I say, you're always going to hang your bag where you can reach it. Which means you can't just not climb an okra tree and let go your hands and challenge God to save you. You can't jump out of a plane without the parachute. You will more than likely die. It is okay to believe in God. We all do. At least those of us that are spiritual, we all believe in some kind of manifestation of the Supreme Being in our lives, and in everything that we do and in everything that we touch. But we also have to understand that if the door is open, you have to go through it. Your success is still going to come from your personal power to influence events, your environment, people around you. And it's part of your characteristics as a human being. It's not from all authority. You have to focus on your self-efficacy and also the ability to cooperate with other people, right? Having personal power doesn't mean that you become a narcissist. You don't listen to anybody. Success is also tied into your ability to take orders, to cooperate, because the journey of life is not independent. You're going to meet people along the way that will either pull you up or they're going to pull you down. That's just the way life is. And when you're down, it's not going to be because you were cursed by the ancestors or the spirits, or that God does not favor you. It has nothing to do with that. Like I mentioned earlier, good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. That is life. Life is about coming and going. You come into this life and you end up dead in the end. It comes to us all. Nobody is above that. But your success, for the most part, is going to come from your ability to influence other people and also to influence events around you to the best of your ability. OKDB and I, we have these kinds of conversations all the time. And I always used to tell her, and I still do today, and she listens, and she says a lot of things to me that I listen. We tap off one another's mental strength so that we could build this ministry. And I've always said to her, just build it. They will come. When you master your personal power, you have the ability not to put unrealistic time frames to things that you want to accomplish in your life. First, you got to set those goals. And you have to believe in those goals. Then you have to build it, put it together. The journey is not easy. Good things come to people who wait. Patience is a virtue. You got to have a lot of patience, and you have to have a lot of courage in this world. And a lot of times when you want to achieve something, you're going to have people in your ear telling you that it's difficult, telling you to waste your time, blah, blah, blah. But only you know where you're going, because you've listened to that voice in you telling you that you could do it. The only thing greater than you as an individual is the sun that rises in the east and sets in the west. That, my friends, you can't control. Other than that, you could pretty much control your environment to a certain extent. Now, if somebody starts off a war somewhere that you have nothing to do with that, and then the war spills into your own environment, and next thing you know, you're dislocated from all this hard work and everything that you've been planning, and now you're just struggling to stay alive. It's just all part of that journey. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. If it does not kill you, it makes you a stronger person. It's your building block. Challenges are good for you. Because either way, even a rich man has challenges. A rich woman has challenges. The money that you accumulate as wealth, a lot of time, is not going to keep you from dying. I pray for the Princess of Wales right now. She's been diagnosed with cancer. She's a princess. But even princesses have challenges. We all do. Now, how do you unleash this personal power? There are steps to this journey. I'm just going to talk about a couple of them, or a few of them, Acknowledge and declare your ambition. What are your ambitions? Some of us, our ambition is just to, I want to get a good job so I could pay my bills. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's your ambition, and that's as far as your self-actualization mindset takes you, then get a job that you could pay your bills with. And if that's the extent of it for you, more power to you. Nothing wrong with that. If your ambition is to be the next president of whatever country you belong to, or the Eze of your village, or the richest man and the richest woman in the world, or whatever, so be it. But you have to declare your ambition. You just can't wander through life without knowing where you're going. And for you to know where you're going, you have to know where you came from. You learn. Because along your journey, there are experiences that help you to build power, personal responsibility. I think, personally, the most difficult journey that a human being can go through is being born. Now you can think about all the steps involving you. A billion sperm cells and one of them makes a hit. Then you're incubated for 9 months in the mother's womb, going through all manner of challenges. Sometimes you listen to the outside world when you're in this cocoon. It builds something in you. Then the next step is you got to come out of that cocoon. And then you come into this strange world away from what you've been used to for 9 months. And you're like, where in the world am I? What is this? Who is that? I'll give anything just to figure out what the baby thinks when the baby comes out into this world. That must be something. But anyway, it's a kind of thought process that might drive you nuts because baby ever came out and said, you know, man, when I came out, bro, it was this, it was that. You never heard that kind of story. So when you think about the difficulty of your journey, think about the difficulty that the baby had for 9 months to come into this world and the shock of that environment. I don't think anything beats that. I just don't think so. That's something else. Then another important thing in unleashing your personal power is replace negative self-thought with positive affirmations. You alluded to that earlier on in your lecture. Quit saying it's too difficult, I can't do it. Because if it's too difficult and you can't do it, then you are actually setting unrealistic goals. You're hanging your bag, your purse, where you can't reach it. Negative self-thought, negative affirmations about your journey will bring you down, will never allow you to unleash your personal journey or personal power, excuse me. Advocate for yourself and other people. Advocate for yourself and others. Now, the others can advocate for you and themselves. But you must advocate for yourself and then others. The governor of my state, Abia State, doing a fantastic job so far. And the trajectory and what he's doing right now, to me, is not only sustainable, but it tells a lot about that man. No negative self-thought. I'm the new governor. The state is too messed up. I can't do anything about it. So I'm just going to sit here, steal money, like the past 3 governors that we have in Abia State, enrich myself, and let the future generation take care of themselves. It's not my business. This is too difficult to do. After all, the last governor came in, he couldn't do anything. So how do you expect me to do anything? He replaced that with positive affirmations. I could do this job. Abana has 24-hour electricity. Most of the roads have been just paved and everybody's happy in the state. A few days ago, the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, came to Abia State in Nigeria to praise this governor. The 3-time president or head of state of Nigeria came. From what I understand, the current president also sent a whole bunch of governors to come to Abia State to find out what this man is doing that nobody else is doing. He's an Igbo man. And a lot of influence from P2B. Imagine what Nigeria may be like, and I use the word in quotes, may be like, or may become, if somebody of that mindset, that Igbo man, was president of Nigeria. He advocates for his people, his state, advocating for himself and advocating for others. And let me say this, just from a spiritual level. If you advocate for others and do for others, particularly when you're in a position of authority or when you have the ability to do it, they will crown you king. You don't have to ask. You don't have to ask for anybody to respect you. They will make you a king, and that is your greatest wealth. Now, another way of unleashing your personal power is to ask for help when you need it. Pride goes, or should I say, comes before the fall. If you are very prideful, then you're stunting your own power. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. We all do. It's just the way life is. Ask for help. If you're going somewhere and you hit a roadblock, you have situations that you know that you can't resolve, but it needs to be resolved before you can go through that door, before you hop over that roadblock. Ask for help. What do you have to lose? You'll still be in the same position that you were in before you needed the help anyway. So what do you have to lose? Put your pride on the side. Putting your pride on the side doesn't mean putting your dignity on the side.
Yes.
They're two different things. I can put my pride on the side, but my dignity, I will never compromise that.
Mm-hmm.
Speak and share your opinions with others. If you don't speak, I'm just part of the crowd. Oh, I'm bashful. Oh, nobody's going to know you're there. And if there are good things that are coming your way, you will miss out on it. You will miss out on it because you were either bashful, you didn't speak out. Find your voice. Take care of yourself. Make your self-care a priority. You have to be able to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. You can't take care of other people if you don't take care of yourself. And if people see that you're not taking care of yourself, then it's difficult for you to have any kind of influence on them. And when I say taking care of yourself, I don't mean going and buying Mercedes-Benz cars and building a skyscraper and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. Taking care of yourself is not compromising your dignity. People need to know and see that you're a dignified human being. At least take a shower in the morning so you don't smell all over the place. Brush your teeth. When you go to talk to somebody, there's not all manner of crap coming out of your mouth. Take care of your health. If you have health problems, work out, exercise, do whatever it is to keep yourself healthy. Because only when you're a healthy person, both mind, body, and soul, can you unleash your personal power. Stop caring about what people think about you, what people think of you. Walk your own path. Tap into your ikenga. It may not be the kind of talent that they appreciate, but tap into your skills. One of the things that growing up I found was people didn't really tap into their power because we were put in this, we had this mindset, you know, and it's from my parents. And when I say our parents, I don't mean my, you know, specifically my parents, but I mean our parents, you know, us Chiis, the older generations, were the elders, where when you went to school, you had an option of 3 or 4 professions, disciplines. When you were going to college after high school, you either had to be a lawyer, you either had to be a doctor, an engineer, you know, science, whatever, architect, something like that. But it was like law, you know, engineer, a medical doctor, and then architect. That was pretty much it. Yeah. You didn't tell your parents, oh, I want to be an economist. Nobody cared about that. But that was your ikenga. That was your talent. You didn't tell them, well, you know, I want to be an artist. But that was your talent. You didn't tell them I want to be a hairdresser. I want to be a businessman. What kind of business? What are you selling? Most children didn't explore. Most of the people, believe it or not, that explored outside of these professions that I just outlined were people that didn't have the opportunity to go to school for the most part and had to embark on some kind of trade. I ended up, making money or whatever. But those people that stepped out of those 3 or 4 disciplines and made it into this world, listened to their ikenga, and it led them to the hallmarks of their destiny. And we all have to do the same. You have to do the same. Stop caring about what others think. Tap into your ikenga. It will lead you to your akaraka, which is your destiny. It will lead you there. Be comfortable being a man. It's a strength. Be comfortable being a woman. It's a strength. Don't apologize for it. You're God's creation. Okay, Dibia sitting over there sipping on our coffee. That's a powerful woman. The president, founder, CEO of OMSI, African Women's Mobilization Commission. And there are a whole bunch of other women like her. She's also the Okedibia of Global Faith Ministries of Chiism, Godianism, articulated by Ahaike Okonyoha and the Oba of Benin, Oba Ikenzwa II, in 1962. Part of fighting for independence in Nigeria was just not about colonization, physical colonization, and taking the chains off. It was also emancipating the African mind. So the National Church of Nigeria was formed. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was a member. So was the Mbono GKs. So was the Mrs. Kuti. All these Pan-Africanists were members of the National Church of Nigeria. We got our independence in 1960, and in 1962, Oba Ekenswa II, the Oba of Benin, and Ahaike Okonyoha together broke ground in Port Harcourt, and merged the Ido National Church and the National Church of Nigeria and called it Godianism. Interpreted in Igbo language is Chiism. But she's sitting right there, acting like she's not enjoying her coffee. I know she is. I see it in her face. Look at her. Looking good all the time. I don't know how you do it, lady, but hey, I'm glad you're my sister anyway. Practice being more direct. Yeah. Practice being more direct and assertive in your communication with others. I don't mean be insolent. I don't mean be a prude. I don't mean communicate with people with lack of respect. But you have to be assertive. If you don't tell people what you want, they're never going to know. You can't hide in a crowd. You can't just be a face in a crowd. Nobody's going to know you. Be assertive. Speak what you want into the universe and then go after it. Enforce it. Don't worry about timeline. Part of unleashing your personal power is to say, regardless of what obstacle I encounter, I'm going to keep building it until I see the results that I seek. And if I don't see it in this generation, maybe I put in enough effort that somebody else takes up the mantle and moves it forward, moves it upward. Your building block starts from the bottom. And part of that building block is to find your voice. Part of that building block is to make your self-care a priority. Part of that building block is taking care of others. Becoming comfortable using your masculine and feminine strengths. Your chi na eke, male and female essence of the creator. Part of that building block is practicing being more direct and more assertive in your communication with others. Part of that building block is let your light shine. Part of that building block is becoming financially savvy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pyramid. Maslow's. You watch your pyramid with these building blocks of personal power, and next thing you know, you are the mountaintop. It's all up to you. The greatest tool that detractors have is your mind. If they get your mind, they got you. To come into your personal power, you have to be master of your mindset. And you have to set it in a way that gives you dignity, dignifies others. Listen to your chi, because it starts right here. That's inner strength. That's your personal power. Find your voice. Express it with dignity. Shoot for the skies. Don't listen to anybody telling you that it cannot be done. Yes, it can be done. We have airplanes that fly. In Europe, if you made something that flew, I guarantee you, back in the dark ages, you would have been burned at stake as a witch. We drive cars now. We improve on our ikenga in all areas of human endeavors. I wear glasses. I can read better. You have cataracts, you have surgery that can correct it. You have medical conditions that science, that it took somebody to make these discoveries so that we can live better. You get on a ship, you get on a boat, something that would take you 3 or 4 months to do, you could do it in 2 weeks now. I could fly all the way to Nigeria in 9 hours if I went straight from New York. We could do a lot of things, and it started with people that had self-confidence, that tapped into their personal power, that made discoveries possible. Discoveries were not made for people that had self-doubt. Discoveries were made by people that were confident, that saw a brighter future, that understood that the journey is going to be tough, but they are willing to have the courage and the patience to nurture their ikenga, which finally will lead them, you, to your akaraka, which is your destiny. That's my tidbit.
Yes. Woo. Yes. You know, DB, I just wanted to add that on this journey, it's so important that we don't get so in tune with just ourselves that we look down on others who are on that journey too, because sometimes we see people as weak, you know, just because they're perhaps not like we are, you know, and there are many factors that contribute to why people are weak and why we perceive them as weak, you know. So it's really very important to remember that strength can be a subjective thing, and it can vary from person to person. What I may consider strength may not be somebody's idea of strength, and so they may not act as me. You know what I'm saying? So that is also important as we continue this journey, you know. Then you know, we may see somebody as weak because they have physical limitations, okay, or they're emotionally vulnerable, or they have lack of confidence, or, you know, it could be because they have those differences doesn't necessarily make them weak. To us, maybe, but not to them. Okay. So if we can kind of taper our own self-aggrandizement, if I may use that expression, some people, you know, in their quest to show their power, then they belittle others. It's important to understand people have different life experiences that cause them. And what you could do as a person who's on this journey for self-discovery and self-empowerment, we can pull those people along. It's important to approach people with empathy and understanding where they are, because everybody, you probably have seen something that says, before you judge people, make sure you know where they've been. Everybody's on their own journey. You just don't know why, they are where they are, so they all have their own unique strengths and challenges that's, as a matter of fact, that's part of our power. That's part of our power, to acknowledge, other people where they are, not belittle them. You know what I'm saying? And young people tend to do that a lot. Young people have a tendency to mock other kids, for not being like them. You have a pool of kids who do have the certain kind of strength and understand their strength and their power, right? And then they see a group, or maybe one or two kids, who don't seem to display that same thing, and they become quite, mean to them. Just remember, no position, what's that they say? No condition is permanent.
It's permanent.
Somebody you may perceive as weak today may actually become your employer tomorrow. So be on your journey, but don't look down on anybody else. If you can pull them up, fine. If you can't pull them up, just keep it moving. But don't unless you know what they're going through. Unless you know what they're going through, you can't really judge them. Yudi, I wanted to share this thought. You probably are aware of it. I'm sure you're aware of it. There is, if you notice, when Igbo people say Ofonogu, sometimes we don't understand the significance of the Ogu part of Ofo. Ofo is, as you pour in a gofo, some of the things that you would like to see happen, the truth, you're speaking the truth, and, but then Ogu, usually these priests, they what they talk about is Ofo in church. They talk about, this has happened, or this person is going to do this, but they don't use Ogu. Ogu means that within yourself you have not done unto someone else. You say, is it awful?
Justice. Your hands are clean.
Your hands got to be clean before you can use Ogu.
That's Ogu.
But go to church and see what they talk about. Hana go for, they talk about what has happened, what's gonna happen, but you don't hear them say, my hands are clean. I haven't done this, I haven't cheated someone. They all cheats. No, well, okay, let me be fair. A lot of them are, not all of them.
Most of them cheat. Not all, but most do. I mean, let's just be honest with it.
Yeah, some of them have done despicable things, but that's not what they're going to talk about. So the African spiritualist was go for go. When you say all the things, when the truth and all the things that you want to see happen or has happened and all that, but you must understand that you have to be infallible. You must not do certain things to other people. You must not be a thief. You must not be a rapist. You cannot go off. You cannot use Ogu if you've done those things or you're doing them. That's why in church you see a lot of Egofo, but not Ogu.
Also, just to add on the Ogu part, when you have truth on your side and you want to, give justice to a situation, you must first warn the offender. It's part of Ogu. You must warn that if somebody comes into your farm, and they're going to go get your yams, that's a warning. If you went into that farm and that omu is there, whatever happens to you, whoever did it to you cannot be blamed because you were warned. If you did something to that person and you didn't put that on model to show that nobody should come in here, you will be held accountable if you did something because you didn't warn them.
Mm-hmm.
This is Igbo way. This is Umporo. Ebansan. That Omo is part of that of Ona Ogu. You must warn. You must. If you don't, if somebody doesn't know the consequences of their action,
yes,
without that warning, and you do something to them, you will be held accountable because you didn't give warning. Now, remember, this is African traditional world doing things. We're in a modern world now. Things are probably kind of different, right? I don't know how it works in the modern world, but just from a spiritual part of, or a spiritual part of this conversation, yeah, that's a part of Ogu, which also includes warning.
Yeah, this is why when some of our priests they are reluctant to go and see the Dibias, the native Dibias, because when they have that Ofo and Ogu, they're telling you something. Don't come in here with your nonsense.
Yeah.
Make sure your hands are clean. Make sure that what you are saying is the truth. Okay? Because there are consequences for you being here and lying.
Yeah, fair play.
You see, so like you said, the world has changed, yeah, but spirituality, for the most part, doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
It stays the same. We're still, Chineke doesn't change to accommodate the 21st century.
Exactly.
True, so some
power.
things remain.
Yeah.
Something remain the same. And African spirituality, which unfortunately has been so bastardized, and those who practice it are made to feel bad that they let it go, and then they're following things that are just look at the world that is not practicing Ofonugu. The world is not practicing that. You know, you have people who will convince you that killing other people is God's will. That's not Ogu.
Yeah.
You know, there are people, there are countries that will go into other countries and just murder, massacre people and put it at the feet of Chineke. So, oh God, well, it's not at my Chineke. They say it's
I'm
God.
fighting for God.
I'm fighting for God. What kind of God is this? Ijido for Ijidogu. Because the Ogu is your conscience, conscientism.
Yeah.
You must speak the truth. You must do the right thing. If you're not doing the right thing, you cannot say an Ejimogu. You can have the offer. The Ogu. That is our tradition. That most people, believe it or not, they are afraid of the Ogu part of it. Because when your conscience will flog you. See what I mean? That's why the conscience is your conscience will flog you if you're sitting there lying. If you know, if you can't tell me thou shalt not kill, and you killed 7 yesterday.
Yeah.
You're lying.
True.
Because you can say all of that, but your conscience will flog you. You will know you've done the wrong thing. Somebody asked a question here. How do you control being too nice or forgiving? Circumstances will tell you how to act. Okay. Yeah. You're never too forgiving or too nice. It depends on the situation. Sometimes you cannot be too nice to an evil person. Somebody that you know has done something real, you can't be nice to them. You've got to either tell the truth or report them. If you can be nice to a person who you know is really struggling, is really trying to be a good human being, and you being nice can help that person flourish. So be nice to that person. But don't be so nice that you misunderstand the purpose of being nice. Niceties have no place where an individual you know is doing something awful. Don't be nice to them. Because your niceness is not going to help them. It's going to make them worse. You see somebody beating up a child. and you say, oh, you know what? I don't think that's the right thing to do. I will report. If I have the strength, you and I will put that child aside, and then you know, let you and I face each other. You can be nice, but you don't want to be too nice. Again, it depends on the situation. If a person deserves that you're nice to them, be nice. If they don't deserve it, don't be forgiving. Don't forgive something that you see. What are your values? You've got to look at yourself. And is this person representing my values? Am I being nice to them because they represent my values? If I have positive values, you be nice to people who reflect your values, represent your values. People who understand, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery. If those are your values, you cannot be nice to people who do that. That's against your values. So you have to be, being nice should be measured. Being nice should be measured. You know, be a good person. Be a good person. Be a kind person. And somebody just wrote this. This is DOCC. He said, I've learned to be good, kind person than a nice one. Niceness will only leave you in a place to be taken advantage of. And forgiveness is much different from tolerance. That's very good. That's very true. You can forgive someone. Again, it all depends on, I say, you know, you have to see what the situation is. What are you forgiving?
That's all it depends on. Don't depend on anything else other than the situation. It's situational forgiveness.
Yeah, the situation calls for what action you should take, what spiritual action you should take. Should I be nice in this situation or should I not be? Because once you forgive somebody that violates your sense of your value system, once you forgive them, that was not your value system to start with. If I go to the grocery store and I see somebody stealing, that is not my value system. I will not forgive. I will not turn the other cheek. I will either go to that person and tell them, you need to put that stuff back. That's not right. Or I will report it. Now, people have a tendency, it's not my business. Yes, it's your business. It's your business to help to create a good world. You understand? So you have to weigh the situation to determine spiritually how you should act. Yes, you did.
Yeah, I just want to say something about that. It also depends on what your value system is. I'll give an example. You know Johnny Cash, the musician?
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. Johnny Cash was married to a black woman in the 50s.
Yeah.
Which was against the white supremacy values. And they turned against him, which ultimately ruined his marriage with this black woman. Then he married a white woman, and then his career started moving up again. So it depends on what those value systems are for you to intervene or not intervene. Like OKDB is saying, if it is spiritually valid around the auspices of Biri can biri, live and let live, do unto others as you would like Chineke to do unto you. I'm not talking about do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. Do unto others as you would like God to do unto you. But I don't know what other people want to do unto me. Live your best life as a vessel of your chi, that God inside of you, from you to Chineke, from you to God, there is no distance. Speak up and share your opinion. Speak it up. All this niceties and niceness and all that, it requires courage to speak up. So speak up. If somebody is going against something that you know that is spiritually not good, say it. As a matter of fact, you're doing them a favor, you're doing yourself a favor, and you're doing whoever is affected by the actions a favor by speaking up and sharing your opinion and what you think. The niceness and all that, that's cool. Depends on the situation, like OKDB, talked about earlier. It's situational awareness. Then you make that decision.
Yeah.
Then you listen to your conscience. What is it telling you? If your conscience is giving you positive spiritual vibrations that you must say something or you must do something because there's injustice before you, then have the courage to speak up and say, this is wrong. This is wrong.
Yes.
And if you forgive, make sure that you're forgiving.
May I add to that? This is important.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring Chidozie. Chidozie has joined us.
Okay.
And I just want this question to not weigh heavy on the individual who asked it. Let me just say that when you forgive something, remember it's personal and very, very complex. It's not easy. Nobody can even tell you what's the perfect answer for that. But again, I just want to reiterate, it depends on various factors, such as the nature of the action. What is it that needs to be forgiven? And the impact that it had on you. What impact did it have on you? If you had a negative impact, then it's difficult for you to be nice about it. And then you also have to evaluate the intentions of the person. Okay? The person who did whatever they did to you, what was their intention? Was that to just ruffle your feathers? Was that to harm you? Now, forgiving someone does not mean that you're condoning their behavior or forgetting what happened, but rather choosing to let go of resentment and finding peace for yourself, within yourself. But you cannot forgive a crime. That's important. Even though, you may want to find peace within yourself, if it's a crime, you cannot forgive it. Okay? Forgiving can help you heal. It's a healing process. It allows you to move forward and free yourself from negative emotions, blah, blah, blah. We know all of that. But just make sure that you're not forgiving something that will cause future harm to others. Pay attention to that. Whatever you're forgiving, could that be repeated? If it's so
exactly. Repeat offender.
Repeated. But does your silence or forgiving the person cause something negative to be repeated? Ultimately, when all is said and done, however, is that it's your decision to forgive someone. It's up to you and exactly what you feel that is best for your own well-being. But also, we talked about it earlier, your power also impacts society. So make sure it's not just for your own well-being, it's also for the good of the whole. So that's my thought on that. And I want to bring in Dibia Chidozie, who has joined us. He did tell us, hello, Dibia, how are you? He did tell us that
yes,
how are you?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We've just been having a wonderful, Lydia and I have been having, we've just been having a wonderful conversation about the personal power, your personal power, how to embrace it, how to use it to build yourself up and also build your community up. What are your thoughts on that? Maybe you can add something else to it, to the conversation. Personal power.
That's my own personal self, as myself, my total whole being and realization of who I am.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it depends to the extent I've realized myself, because these days we are more after the intellectual actualization of who we are, and that does not guarantee us a holistic understanding of who we are. Compared to those days when we were born and we were raised within our tradition, and the first thing they let us know is who we are in terms of what our chi is, what our eke is, what our agu is, so that we know our strong and weak points, and we do not ignore our weak points, which you call agu. And agu here is two-way, it's complementarity. Agu simply means realizing your total whole being and how to transform your weak points and enhance them to become strong. And you are not always going to be at that strong point. There are times you collapse into some things, unforeseen circumstances make you to err. And so that's Agu, looking at Agu in pure intellectual form. So we understood who we are through divination, through other upbringing. And then we were brought up on the traditional notion of self. Then you will know who you are spiritually. You define who you are spiritually. You define your essence. And even possible, you define your destiny. And then you'll be positioned to understand your whole being vis-a-vis your ikenga. And then your proficiency of what you are going to excel more in. What are your talents? How do you prosper by this talent to enhance your well-being and the well-being of the community? And so that we were taught in the traditional term of communalism or communitarianism, that whatever you do that benefits only you and just you, and does not bring any benefit, any endowment, upliftment for the rest of the people around you and the community, that is vice. Virtue is the path that enables you as an individual and connects you with other people so that you use your total whole being to enhance yourself. As you enhance yourself, then you also contribute your quota to the well-being of the community, so that the essence of communalism is achieved, whereby the community is there to protect the individual, give the individual a sense of belonging, offer the individual a level playing ground to excel and let your totality of whole being to fructify. And then you as the individual, you realize yourself bit by bit as you grow up, so that you master yourself and then contribute your quota to the well-being of the community by enhancing who you are. Now, so realizing who we are is better that we do it by realizing who we are within one within ourselves, understand ourselves as a member of the family, the immediate family we are born into. Then we move on to extend the family. The immediate family we are born into is connected to father side, mother side, and then there are relations. It keeps extending, and then we are going to extend it further. So we learn that whatever we are is not just to edify ourselves, but to elevate ourselves to be very fine human beings, the finest of the stuff, Mando, Madi, to replicate the beauty of Chukwu Okike Abiamat, so that it manifests that holistic essence in our own little prism. And then by uplifting ourselves, we contribute our quota to lifting our family, immediate family, young family, immediate family, extended family, and the whole community and the whole world. So that's how we were taught, so that in traditional Igbo form, when the child is born, from the very first time the child is born, the very first phase of 7 years from the time the child is born to 7 years is nkuzi, obedience, irubisi, ndobisi. You have to obey, because you are not that thing we gave birth to is not a human being. Human being, or it's built around the concept of person, and the question of person, it's a community developing your hidden talents, developing it, shaping it. That's why the Igbo word for teaching is nkuzi, means shaping, knocking to shape, shaping, helping you to realize the essence, hidden essences in you that in a lifetime are inexhaustible, so that you will master yourself, you develop the process of actualizing who you are, which you call usoro. You master your ibia, and then your ikenga will fructify. And so that's the very first 7 years. The second 7 years is, I think the first one is obedience. The second with, how come I forget this now, just now. Well, the first 7 years is obedience. If I remember the second one, I will say it. The third one is self-reliance. Self-reliance. So that if you learn how to obey, and then the second level is to learn the principles of ofonogu, balance. You learn the principle of balance. That's when you are taught wizuoke. And you learn how to bring yourself up, balance yourself in situations. That you should call unusual. And then if you learn how to obey, you now learn how to live a life of moderation. Then at the last segment that will take you to maturity, from 14 to 21, becomes the age of teaching self-reliance. And from 22 to 28 is the age of wealth creation. So, and all these define stages of bringing up the human person to understand who you are, your totality of who you are, your talents, your skills, how to develop them, not just for yourself, but be useful to yourself by being be useful to the community by being useful to yourself, and to throw the path of virtue, and to learn the principles of Ofonogu, how to strike balance, because that's the whole thing about Ofonogu, how to strike balance, and to realize that social corporate responsibility is a heavy burden. And the only way we will keep to that part is to avoid the part of Aro and Nusala. All of these will teach us how to, to meander through the very difficult terrains of life. But in the world of today, we are given birth to, we are sent to school, nobody teaches us about self, and we are not even taught philosophy, whether foreign or local, because if you are taught philosophy, you'll be taught about concepts like self, consciousness, human being, mado. You will be taught concept of mado, onwe, chi, agu. All of these, first and foremost, what makes a human being? You'll be taught all of that. In this part of the world, we are not taught all of that. It is until when you get to the university, we begin to learn who we are. Then when we finish teaching you consciousness, mado, human being, person, self-sovereignty, how to balance and all of that. Community, then you start learning about community, society. What does it mean? Leadership. This little concept, they will be defined in not more than 5-10 sentences. You begin to learn how to build yourself. That is not done today. So you find that the watchword today is that everybody's bringing the child, the word up, how to prosper, how to behave smart, how to work smart, how to be rich. So we are thinking of money from beginning. We are thinking of not even riches, not even wealth, money, just myself. And there's much of individualism. And so that I make all the money just for myself. I don't care what happened to others. And that is not the realization of the balanced self. And that's what is the backlash of it is what we are witnessing all over the world, not just in Africa. That's what we're witnessing all over the world. That's my little take. There one.
Yeah, guys, yeah. Okay, man. I don't know if Divya is frozen or not. Look like she is frozen. But anyway, that's a good take. As a matter of fact, before you came in, I had talked a lot about Ofonogu. And I talked about, to me, which is probably one of the most important aspects of this, is Ikenga. Ikenga mad, your talent, sure. Right? And as you mentioned, the nurturing of that talent in your first 7 years and the years subsequent before you get into adulthood, that shapes you as a conscious human being.
Sure.
Not just a human animal, because that's what you are, right? There's not too much going on up here. And then it takes the community, your parents, and everybody to mold you into this self-realization of Onyebu. And then through that, you fortify your Ikenga, which ultimately leads you to your Akaraka, your destiny. And that's where true happiness as a person, as a spiritual being, really lies. When you follow, it's like saying, I'm following my God calling, my calling in life, my purpose in life. What am I here for? What are these innate skills or talents that I have that allows me to express my personhood positively, add to my life, and by adding to my life, I'm able to add to the lives of others and the society. And my dad, part of that journey, my dad used to say, never live anywhere unknown. Find your voice. Never live anywhere unknown. Find your voice positively, right? Because Hitler found his voice, but not in a good way. You understand what I'm saying? Find your voice positively based on Ofonogu. Truth and justice and fair play. Will lead you to the hallmarks of your Akaraka, your destiny. I just wanted to kind of, reiterate what you had just talked about.
Yes, so, the understanding Dibiahood will make us, even when we don't consult ourselves, we speak almost the same thing, different ways.
Yeah, of course. I'm a Basa. This is part of knowing yourself too.
Yourself.
We know who we are. We speak the same language. We have the same goals. We see the world in a similar way. We understand the problem we have, both as people of African ancestry and humanity in general. Ogele, are you there?
Wants to speak.
Can you talk now? Yeah, her voice.
Yes. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
I wanted I want to thank you, Dibia Chedozie. There was before you came in, a young man asked a question, and that question was about what UD. This was for you about the calendars. I don't want us to forget.
Oh yeah.
There was a question about the calendars. When would that be available to them?
Yeah. We have 7 calendars right now. I'm going through the copywriting process. It's definitely going to be available this summer. There's a lot of legal stuff to do so that I have accurate information on intellectual property, right? I've created that, and I continue to create more calendars, holistic healing, and everything else that is uplifting to people of African ancestry. You're going to find in subsequent calendars that are going to come. Right now, we have 7 calendars, greatest African leaders, greatest African sports icons, African cities, wildlife, African scientists, empires and kingdoms. We have those. So I'm just going through the copyright process. And the first of the year in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly people of Igbo extraction, starts sometime in August, right? Like the late August from the 24th all the way through September, depending on what area you're in, but the difference is like within 1 month of the start date for one Igbo, village or tribe or whatever to another one. And all this is done before it's time in October for you to now go and put yam into the ground again. And then you got to wait till the next year for the harvesting and the festivals and all that kind of stuff. So we will definitely have it available a month before our new year, which is sometime in June or something, depending on your wild. Some people even celebrate the New Year Festival, in late July. So it just depends on, what area you're from. Ours usually is around the 24th, 25th. Depends on when Oriuku Day, falls into. Or by the Oriuku, the big market day, and by the be there. Amen. So it depends on where it falls into, then we get that done. But by the end of June, the calendars will have gone through the legal process, the copywriting and all that stuff. And also the LLC would have been put together. And then we'll be ready to have it on Amazon and any other outlet that we see feasible at that time, including bulk orders and all that. We would have, sorted out those business arrangements. So be patient. You could still go on our website, africancalendar.org, and see the products over there. Right now, we have out of stock on all of them. And that's because we're going through the copywriting process so that we are able to resolve the printing, aspect of it, so that you know exactly where to order it. But initially, it's going to be Amazon.com, and we'll let you know on this show. It's also going to be on African Calendar Facebook, and it's also going to be on African Calendar YouTube channel, which is going to simultaneously interact with Global Faith Ministries of Chiism. So a lot of the content that you get here, you can also find that there, and then also individual content and contents that we feel will, either add positively to the African experience or at least make you aware of some pitfalls out there designed to entrap us all and lead us into this abyss of hopelessness that we currently find ourselves in many African communities, both in the motherland and also in the diaspora. So thank you for your interest in the African Calendar. AfricanCalendar.org is our website. Stay tuned. More of the good stuff is coming your way. Just hang in there with us. Yeah. That's the information. Like, she probably didn't hear me. She's still. I'm
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think. Can you see me? I don't know. I'm having a little challenge with internet. You. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. We can see you.
We can see you. We can hear you. So okay. Just keep on keeping on.
I wanted to remind everyone that for each of the classes at the University of the Chiis Mahadum, for us to initiate the classes, we must have a minimum of 6 participants in each class. So if you know you want to attend, now that we're doing it, we're giving you a free month. You have to register. You can't call me and text me and say, "Oh, I want to take the class." You've got to go to the website and register so that we can count the numbers. If we don't have 6 people in the class that you're interested in, the class would not hold. All the professors are aware and they understand this to be the terms. You must have 6 in your class for it to start. Next Sunday, our program is going to be dedicated to youth. It's a youth Sunday, and we are going to have as many young people participate in this discussion, because they are, if the young people are going to also focus on some of the things that cause them angst. They face various spiritual challenges in today's world. And so we need to talk about some of those challenges. One of them is identity and purpose. So we want to talk about those kinds of things, peer pressure, whatever those things are that impact young people. We want to talk about that. And you, Namdi, of course, is going to head the discussion, and we'll have young people in the as part of the discussion. But we also, all the DBS will be in the forum to talk with the young people. This is very important. That's how you move anything forward, is to incorporate the needs of our young people. God knows our young people are stressed out in this world as it is today. So we want to hear their thoughts about how they're feeling, how's the world treating them, what are their concerns. So that's what we're going to be doing next time. if I may summarize what UD had said earlier, that he's going through some of the necessary registration of the calendar, okay, copyrights and all of that. And as soon as that's all completed, then it will be available. Then you go to the website to the website, and you find that all those sold. Do you have sold on them, or what is it you have on them?
I have sold out on them. I think that was a default. That's a default. That's a default tag. Maybe I should just go there instead of saying sold out. I'm just going to go back and put coming soon. Yeah. I think that's what I need to do. You know, it will be a little bit more direct, approach to time frame.
Yeah, so that they're aware.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Yeah.
So anyway, I would like to thank all of you who have joined us today. Some of the comments are really very insightful, and I appreciate it. I just want to add this. You guys may not know it, but our very dear Akachi lost her grandfather that she was very, very close to. Oh, so that has she's preparing for the funeral. Yeah. That's why she's not with us. You know, she's always here, but she's not with us today because so we're so sorry to hear that. And then, you know, one of my friends, you see how sometimes you just don't know. That's why we must pay attention to our world. We must contact some of the people that we used to care about or we care about. Pick up that phone. It's not enough to just get on the web, on Facebook and all of that. A friend of mine that was so dear to me in Michigan when I was teaching on campus at the University of Phoenix. She was so supportive. As a matter of fact, she's the one who fought for me to get the recognition as Faculty of the Year. And so we've been talking on Facebook for a while now. And for some reason, I just didn't hear from her anymore. I thought that was rather odd. So I went to her Facebook page to find out, you know, what happened. Only to find out she had passed away. And I didn't know. Yeah. And if I had kept in touch, I would have found out. But I didn't know she had died in December. And I didn't even know. So it's really tragic. So we need to really do everything we can to keep up with, you know. And of course, the national, I meant to announce this earlier, but the High Chief Priest of Chiism, Godian religion in Ghana, Dr. Krosharon, passed away. Yeah. And here again, you know, when you don't keep in touch with people, you don't know. She had been calling, telling me that, you know, she had been going to the hospital. Her heart was failing her, and she's so sweet, you know, and she kept telling me, I love you, you know, I love all of you and all of. So I'm like, why does she keep saying all of that? I say, are you okay? She says, well, I don't know how much longer I have. I said, oh, don't be silly. She's an African-American who moved to Ghana. So I kept telling her, well, you know, if you're not feeling well, you really need to come home so that your family will take care of you. She said, well, I think I'll be okay. You know, I'll be okay. And next thing I know, this woman is gone, you know. And I feel very badly because I didn't keep in touch like I was supposed to. So please, I want to end this program today by reminding all of us, your personal power also includes you impacting the lives of others. You know, reach out to people. If you haven't talked to them, reach out to them. Now, if they don't want to talk to you, then that's a whole different thing. But if you know there's some people who want to be in your life and want to talk to you, take the time and contact them and be in their lives as well. On that note, I want to thank everyone. Thank you for joining us. Mag in his bag. Thank you. He says, a great show as always. Thank you for saying that. We should certainly appreciate it. And then, of course, let's see, Emeka. Oh, incidentally, I want to just take this opportunity and congratulate my nephew, Emeka. Emeka is such a sweetheart. I love him dearly. He won Associate Employee of the Year. Yes, not month of the year. That's Dibia UD's son.
Yes.
And we're so proud of him. He's just a wonderful thing. So congratulations for achieving that milestone. It's going to go in your resume, obviously. And so congratulations. We are very proud of you. We're very proud of all our children. And we are proud of you. We're definitely proud of you. So thank you, all of you, for joining us. Thank you, Caesar. Let's see. Caesar said something interesting here. He says, if only we had after-school programs that can teach this to our children in the West. Yes, absolutely. You're right. Our young children, when you look at, there are some schools. There are some schools that actually do try very hard to teach African, African way of life. But when we have our university, we're going to have a junior school. An elementary school will follow from the university. That is our goal anyway. So we're going to thank all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to the youth session next Sunday. And all of us will be in it, but we want to hear what our young people are thinking. And on that note, Dibia Chedozie, Dibia Yudi, thank you as always for being here and sharing your wonderful wisdom. We are, guys, we really, really, truly appreciate you. Okay, merci.
All right.